In the hierarchy of trading card games, there are three that have stood above all others for the past 3 decades. In my last video, I summarized the similarities that Grand Archive has with Magic the Gathering, and why I think Grand Archive is worth trying as an alternative. In this video, I will tackle the second of the big three, Pokemon. This is an introduction to Grand Archive for Pokemon players. Pokemon and Grand Archive have similar objectives. In Pokemon, your objective is to knock out your opponent's Pokemon by attacking them and dealing enough damage to eclipse their HP. When a Pokemon is defeated, it rewards the opponent with a prize card, and you need to take 6 prize cards to win. Certain Pokemon can evolve to gain HP, like Slowpoke here can evolve to Slowbro. In Grand Archive, the goal is in some ways simpler. You only need to deal enough damage to defeat your opponent's champion one time. No prize cards involved. Champions in Grand Archive, similar to Pokemon, can level up like Pokemon can evolve to gain more HP, as seen in the bottom right corner. They can level up as many as 3 times to level 3 that is at 28 HP instead of the starting 15 that the Spirit of Fire had. The next thing I need to explain is the concept of resources. In Pokemon, there is no cost to play cards, there's only a cost to attack. You're limited to a single energy attachment per turn to pay for those attacks, but item cards you could play as many as you want in turn, and as long as you have bench space, you can play basic Pokemon down as you please. This can make for some long turns that can be boring to sit through if you're on the other side of the table. In Grand Archive, on the other hand, every card has a reserve cost shown in the top left corner of the card. In order to activate that card from your hand, you have to place down that many cards from your hand face down. That will be recollected at the start of your next turn. This limits the amount of time turns can take dramatically because generally you'll only have enough cards in the early game to play 2 or 3 per turn at most. So in Grand Archive, you're never doing nothing for long. The final mechanic I feel the need to explain is interactivity. One of the main complaints many players have about Pokemon is the lack of interactivity, or that is like playing solitaire. By interactivity, people are referring to the ability to play cards in response to the opponent's actions. Grand Archive's action cards have 2 speeds, slow speed and fast speed. Slow speed cards can be played only during your own turn. Fast speed cards can be played anytime you have priority, including on your opponent's turn. Pokemon has had a card like Frostbind, which negates card activations in the past, Power Spray. But since 2011, when it rotated, Pokemon has never attempted the mechanic of interactive cards since. The next thing we're going to talk about is affordability, which unfortunately Pokemon does absolutely destroy Grand Archive on, as it does destroy most games. The deck that won North American International Championship in 2025, and then 2 months later won the World Championship, costs about $75 to make. And this is not an outlier. Average deck price for competitive meta deck is about $70. Go over to Grand Archive, and unfortunately, due to the prices of a lot of the staple cards in this game costing $20 to $25, the average deck cost is $500, which, I kid you not, could buy you easily 7 to 8 of the top Pokemon decks. So it is very, very hard to suggest that this is a game for people that are living on a budget. But I believe the investment does actually reap benefits in the long run, is what I will talk about next. Grand Archive cannot compete with Pokemon in terms of affordability. Very few games can. But where it does shine is organized play and what prizes you're guaranteed if you win those tournaments or place top 8. For store championships, which are the first step up in terms of competitive play, for winning, you get a cool promo card. and Rage was the promo card for Abyssal Heaven season, the last season we played. And this promo sells for $150 to $200, but also will have a serial code that could be used towards points for a Nationals invite later in the season, May of 2026. Comparatively, for winning a league challenge, you are guaranteed nothing. We're talking 12 to 18 player tournaments. One side, you have $150 promo card. The other side, you are guaranteed nothing. Some organizers may throw in, some packs, or it's a really large league challenge, maybe a box of cards. But I'm only talking about what is guaranteed to you by the companies giving instructions to the organizers. Then we go to store regionals versus league cups. The next step up for each game, respectively, and what attendance you're looking at is about anywhere from 30 to 80 people. More looking at like 40 to 60, though. I haven't seen a store regional go anywhere above 80 in the United States. I have not seen a League Cup go above 60 in the United States, but in larger states like California and Texas, you may be looking at those. But let's look at participation. What are you guaranteed for participating in a store regional? Guaranteed first, the Sapphire Pack that gives exclusive foil versions of cards you can normally only get in starter decks at non-foil. Thus, some of them have a lot of value, as much as $200 if you're really, really lucky. Then you also, every season, they have a special item that they give for participation. Last season was this etched binder, which was really, really nice. Sold on the secondary market for about $35, but I kept all of mine because I have a lot of collections to separate. I have a lot of card games that I collect, and so having more binders was actually not a detriment. For top 8 at a store regional, which means going about 4 wins and a tie, same thing you'll be looking at to get top 8 at League Cup. You are getting a promo card just like store championships that awards marginally more points towards nationals, but is nonetheless just as pretty. And sometimes it's playable, in competitive, sometimes not. But either way, they all really look good in a binder, and they all serve the purpose of awarding points towards a nationals invite. This Mandate of Honor, my friend that won 3 of them last season, I believe he sold his extras for like $300, partially in trade value for one of them, but let's look at what you get for League Cups. Participation. You get perhaps a prize pack series league pack, which the highest value in prize pack series 7 is maybe an Umbreon EX or a Flareon EX, maybe. Umbreon EX might be like $60 right now, but that's maybe. Some League Cups won't even award this on participation. Again, it is all up to the organizer how they want to deal these out. However, organizers aren't allowed to sell these prize packs, so usually they'll give it out at their local leagues and then participation for League Cups. But again, you're not guaranteed this. The only thing you're guaranteed from a League Cup, if you win, is not for top 8. This is not for second place. This is only for the winner. You get a playmat. And frankly, I think the playmats recently have been very boring. This is an Ethan's Ho-Oh, which, if you're a fan of
Gold and Silver and the protagonist from those. Pretty cool, I guess, but it still looks really bland, and the playmat material isn't that great. So, all you're guaranteed for potentially winning a 60 player tournament is this champion mat. And if you are at a good establishment, they will probably give you like a booster box that you might be able to sell for 300, but nothing is guaranteed outside of the playmat, which to me is borderline criminal. Uh, it's wild the disparity in these two games, what you get for simply top aiding one tournament compared to the prizing for winning another. Grand Archive just mogs Pokemon in every aspect here. In conclusion, the reason I favor Grand Archive over Pokemon comes in 4 points. First point is game design. I think Grand Archive is better designed as a game in terms of mechanics and cards, and I enjoy playing it a lot more than Pokemon. Second is organized play. Already went over this extensively for just the smaller tournaments, competitive level, in terms of league challenges and league cups versus store championships and store regionals. Nothing beats Grand Archive here. Third is smaller community. I enjoy games with smaller attendance generally because I don't deal well with large crowds. And I enjoy a 300 player ascent to a 2200 player Pokemon regional any day of the week. And the fourth and most important is time consumption. For many adults, they don't have an endless amount of time to go to League Cups weekend after weekend or regionals 5, 6 times a season, including maybe an international championship. They have to travel and use so many paid time off days for work. You would rather be using that to spend time with family, I'm sure. Um, Time consumption to get a nationals invite for Grand Archive is so much less than getting a world's invite for Pokemon. And I think all four of these points make a compelling case for anyone to switch from Pokemon to Grand Archive if they can afford the massive increase in the barrier to entry. The only thing that I have against Grand Archive right now is its affordability crisis. And if that is ever resolved, I don't even think there is argument to be made against GA and in favor of Pokemon.